time when you meet Chinese speakers, don't only use ni hao. Now you also have other tools in your toolbox that you can use. You've probably seen or heard what I'm about to show you many times, and maybe you've even been one of those people. Here it goes. Ni hao, ni hao. It is not funny to say this to Chinese people, and it's even less funny if you say to anyone who looks Asian. Ni hao is actually an abbreviation of ni hao ma, which means are you good? Are you well? Are you okay? It shows respect, it shows endearment, it shows that you care about people by asking about their well-being. And it's not meant to use as a practical joke. You wouldn't just say to anybody who is not Asian on the street and go, hi, howdy, hello. First of all, there are very dire consequences to doing that. Not everyone will appreciate that. And some people might even show that in a physical manner. So that's why people don't do it. But they do it to Asian people, which to me is quite baffling. I'm not saying that you can't use ni hao. Use it discriminately. Use it when you actually care about that person, when you want to get to know that person, you want to make friends with that person. Then, of course, it's very nice to greet someone in their native language, if their native language actually is Chinese. So before you start shouting ni hao to people, think about that first. Now, we have that out of the way. Now, here is the fun part. Chinese speakers do use ni hao, or variations of it. In Shanghai, in Shanghai, Shanghainese, they say nong ho or nong ho ya. And in Taiwan, they say li he bo. Because they speak Holloway, they speak Taiyu, Taigi, they speak Taiwanese there. But it's done in a different way depending on the situation. It's not just to say hello to everyone, like if in a Western country people would greet a friend. Hello! If I meet a friend, a Chinese speaking friend with whom I'm very close, I would just say, hi, 好久不见. Just hi, haven't seen you in a while. Or if I know them and I'm not that close, I'll just say, ni hao, ni hao. It is a little bit more formal. So, from my experience in Taiwan, when you meet a very good friend of yours, you would just say, go, hi. That's good friends say that to each other. A bit westernized, you might say. So ni hao is more formal. Maybe for colleagues that you know, but you don't know them that well. Maybe that guy you've been meeting at the water bottle for the past 10 years and who keeps on talking about his 19th century puppet collection, but you don't know his name or which department he works. That guy, you know him? Yeah, use ni hao. More often, if I'm interested in a friend's well-being, I would use 你怎么样? Literally, you are in what state? How are you? So I use this in my speech, I use it in my text messages, and especially if I haven't spoken to a person or if I haven't seen that person in quite a while. It's quite informal, mind you, so don't say it to your boss or to your elders. Always be polite to people that are older than you. So this video is not only on language, but also on culture. Those two are often intertwined. People that are older than you call them 阿姨 for auntie, or 叔叔 for uncle. In Taiwan, we call our uncles that are not really family, but they are like family to us. We call them abe, or somebody on the street that is older than you, and you don't really know him, but as a sign of respect, you also call them abe or ai. They are your Zhǎngbèi, so you have to respect them. And Zhǎngbèi is also the name of one of my favorite kung fu movies. Coming back to 怎么样, I also add 最近, which means lately. 你最近怎么样? I haven't spoken to the person in a while, and I want to know, how have they been doing recently, lately? 你最近怎么样? A bit shorter is 你最近如何? And 如何 is the more classical way of asking how are you? So it has traces of classical Chinese, which I highly recommend learning. If you don't learn classical Chinese, even a little bit, your Chinese will always lack something. Anyone on YouTube or anywhere else claiming that their Chinese is perfect, you've seen the videos, people going around trying to impress other people with their Chinese skills. Ask them if they have learned classical Chinese, and if the answer is no, well, so much for that claim of their Chinese being perfect. And you can learn classical Chinese at any point. You don't first have to master all the Chinese that there is and then start to learn classical Chinese. It can actually complement your modern Chinese, because a lot of things, especially in newspapers, newspaper articles and titles, they still use classical Chinese. And it's also very important to know where the meaning of this character or the way it was written comes from. Trust me, it will really, really help your Chinese. Now, back to meeting people. If you want to say, it was nice meeting you, 高兴认识你. If you say that, people will compliment you and say, wow, your Chinese is good. If you really want to show that you've dedicated yourself and that you've learned more than just the basic Chinese, use 幸会. So if you meet people, then you say 幸会, 幸会, which means nice to meet you. But again, that's a formal and more classical way to say things. To say, pleased to meet you. But a very informal, but nonetheless very native way of asking how people are doing, to inform about their well-being, is 你吃饱了吗? Are you full of eating, not of it? Never ask people if they're full of it. Usually, after a few minutes of talking to certain people, you will know if they're full of it or not. Because asking 你吃饱了吗? You're asking if people have eaten enough, if they're happy, and if they're full. Because in Chinese culture, having a full stomach and being healthy is the most important thing. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. I hope you've learned something language-wise and culture-wise. So next time when you meet Chinese speakers, don't only use 你好. Now you also have other tools in your toolbox that you can use. Go out, practice, and 继续加油!